Okay, everybody, here we go. What we are doing today is we are going to get some tubs. We're going to put bulk. We're going to put some jars to bulk. Gonna be getting everything ready to fruit. So what we're going to do first here is we are going to clean our jar real good. I mean, we're going to clean our container, pretty good. It ain't got to be real good because once mycelium is fully colonized, then it's pretty resistant to contam. And if you followed my process so far, don't worry about the micropore tape. It can get wet with alcohol right here. See what I'm saying? That's fine. Just make sure when you wipe it straight up or down. You don't want to wipe it sideways, just because you don't want to accidentally start your tape peeling. Okay? So now once we have that, I use, for my liners, there's several reasons you use liners. The main one is to try to prevent side pins. But the second one is because it makes the cleanup process real easy. So what I do is I don't unfold the bag. I get these bags from the Dollar Tree. They're super cheap. I cut that off. Then I turn it around. And I'm going to cut this bottom inch off here. Now what that does is that makes me a bag that is going to have a hole in the top and the bottom. Then what you're going to do is you're going to find one of them creases, and you're just going to follow it to cut. So once you do that, obviously, now you got a bag. I mean a liner, so you can get it, make sure it's fairly even, and then lay it in there. That's why I like to leave some alcohol in the bottom of the container so it sticks nicely. Now what you'll do, everybody don't do this, but you can. You can put two little pieces. See how we've already got the long pieces coming out of the end here, so they're not going to go nowhere. But that alcohol dries pretty quick, so you just take one little piece like that and tear it in two. And so then I'm going to put one right there, and then I'm going to put another right here. I don't want it to hold it real good. I just want it to hold it a little bit. Now I'm going to get one of my buckets here this has got my CVG mixture in it. Get that good and mixed, and then I take my 99.9% alcohol cleaning mixture, get it all over my hands, and then I want to get my jars over here. Is this not some beautiful mycelium we got here? It's got just a little bit right there, but this is going to be fine. Look at that, how pretty. You see that? How good this is? Look at that ropey rhizomorphic mycelium. Okay, look how ropey that is. We are good to go with this. This is some fast colonizing stuff, boys and girls. Okay, so we're going to take I almost grabbed the water. We're going to take our alcohol and we're going to put about 4 or 5 good squirts on the top. And then we're going to wipe down all around the edge and all around where I'm going to be touching. Now this ain't necessary because, like I said, the jar mycelium is really good at resisting contaminant once it's colonized, but I still like to be safe. So now we're going to crack our tops and we're going to be ready to go. Sorry, I forgot one thing. I got one specific butter knife I always use. Now some people don't like to stick anything in their jars, but me, I would rather know that this knife is clean and use it to dig down in there to speed the process up, because rather than being scared to stick something in there, I'm scared to leave my jar open and out, into the world. All right, so what we're going to do Can you see? We've got our empty thing. We're gonna open it and we're gonna put a thin layer of dirt across the bottom like this. Okay, now we're gonna make sure to put our top back on our bucket, but not all the way on. We're just gonna set it on. Now we've got a little bit lining the bottom here. Get the fuck on down, bug. I hate that when you already see a bug in there, one flying. Alright, so we got that. Now we're gonna open our 2 jars. That is some good mycelium, boys and girls. Okay, so we're gonna put okay. There is the first one. Oh shit! That's why you want to clean it. Clean the jar just in case you do something stupid like that. Okay, but you see how these grains come right out and they bust up into little pieces? That's whenever you know your mycelium's healthy. If it's real clumpy and it don't come apart good, then you probably got some unhealthy mycelium. Alright, so now what we want to do is we want to break up all the clumps and we're going to spread it around pretty evenly on top. Don't start mixing it yet. Make it a top layer. Okay, so now once we have that, all your clumps broke up real nice, what we're going to do is we're going to open this and we're going to put some more in there. About there. And about, that ought to do it, I think. Put one more little handful just to be sure. Okay, so let me seal this back up because we will be using that again later. Alright, so now you start on one side. Try to keep your grains and your dirt from getting in between your liner. You don't want nothing out of your liner. You don't want nothing in between your liner. Now what I like to do is, some people say 2 to 3 inches for shoe boxes and then 4 to 5 inches for monotubs. But what I like to do is I like to just go in the middle and leave it do the same height for everything. That way you get about the same amount of flushes. What I mean is I will go about 3.5 inches, something like that, and I've found that it works just fine, even if you only go 2 inches. You know what I'm saying? You're just not gonna get good flushes, you know. But anybody who's ever grew mushrooms know that about on that second and third flush anyway, you're about over it. You know, I love the way fresh mycelium smells. I absolutely just love it whenever it's good, healthy mycelium. Alright, so once you've got you a good 3 inches built up and you know you're happy with it, you're happy with how it's mixed. When you got good rhizomorphic mycelium like this, it ain't gonna take 7 days for this to be ready, but it's still good to leave it a week because that's what's gonna, 10 days, because that's what's gonna make you have a great pin set. So what we want to do is we want to try to get this top as even as possible. That's a big deal. Getting the top even. That's a big deal. Alright, so we got it pretty even. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take our scissors and we're going to wipe the blades off. Even though these are pretty clean, we're still going to wipe them off. We want to always practice good clean technique. And now we're going to cut this bag. I'm going to peel the tape off here. And I'm going to start right there. And we're going to cut this bag. You want to pull it to you some where it comes out just a little bit. Where you're picking up the substrate. Pick it up just a little bit. So that way when you cut it, it falls back into place, especially doing the corners. You want to cut it right level with the ground, picked up and pulled towards you some. Because then, like I said, when it settles back down, you ain't going to have no plastic hanging over then in your way. Alright, here we go. And be sure and throw it over the edge. That way it ain't falling down into your stuff and you're improving your chance of success. Alright, so we just keep cruising. Keep cruising. All the way around. All the way around. Okay, now we have that done. Now what you want to do is you want to make it rain, just like in nature. So we're going to make it rain. We're going to give this stuff a good rain. I'm talking about you want to really just soak it one time. And if you, this is the beautiful thing, is if you, I hear people talking about how often do you fan and how often do you do all that. The answer is never. If you follow the process that I'm showing you right now, then you will never have to open this box until you're picking your first mushrooms. You ain't gonna have to open the box and fan it or none of that crazy stuff. None of it. This is a set and forget process. Set and forget. You just soak this bad boy. You want to use about 1/3 of a bottle. And I can just look at it and tell. Maybe I need to measure it out for you, but I had this bottle filled up exactly, so I'm going to go about, I don't know, 20 more squirts, something like that. You're not going to put too much water in here on the first one because it's got to sit 10 days and that mycelium is going to use up that water. Alright, so there we go. Now, we're going to put the top on it, but I don't want to get that top dirty because I need it. Shit. That was stupid. I just said I didn't want to get it dirty, and what I go do? This is alcohol I'm spraying on the top. The reason is because I'm fixing to go get my, see, like I said, you probably seen the flies on the video that were buzzing around out here. Well, I live in Mississippi, and in Mississippi, the enemy of the mushroom is the dang flies, right? So, this is what I do to keep the flies out. This is 3 pieces of my painter's tape that I showed you that I have stuck together over there, and I had them laying on my computer desk like this, so when I got through, now about 1 piece high, I'll stick it to the box and let it go all the way around. Now, I'm going to close the top part down like this while I'm holding the box down, because what I'm wanting it to do is get to this edge, and then I can fold over that edge, and that's going to hold everything down. We're going to do the same thing right here. Fold that. Now that's a perfect seal up top. So now I can tuck this under and stick it to the side. I can tuck it under and stick it to the side. I can tuck it under and stick it to the side. Now I'm going to turn this around and I'm going to go get my other piece. believe I just unstuck that. I don't know how I just unstuck this piece, but I can fix it. Let me get the first half on there. Okay, so now we lay that down. Lay that, and then we stick that. Same thing, lay that, and then fold it flat. Now we're gonna stick that under there, under there, under there. Now we're going under there all the way around. Now I know it don't seem like this don't seem, you know, seems like you could get away without doing this, but what you're gonna have is a box full of darn flies. Hey, and that's okay too, because the crazy part about it is the flies don't do nothing but bug me. They're not fatal to your grow. But I mean, obviously not. If you think about it, flies are outside, you know, and so when mushrooms grow in the wild, they can deal with the flies. The flies ain't the end of your growth. But I just don't like them in there because they seem like to me that they mess up my later flushes. You know, they seem like to me that they prevent me from getting good flushes later. Like if I leave this tape on there, then to me I will get, I mean, it's gonna sound crazy to say, I don't even want to say it, you'll think I'm exaggerating, but if I have this box done like this, I will get literally as many flushes as I want. Now I can't literally say literally, because then somebody will say, oh, have you ever got 30 flushes? Something crazy like that. And the answer is no. But I have got 7. I have got 7 pretty easy, you know, pretty easy, because I will pick my, like say I got, now we might consider what flushes are different too, because say I go in my box and I pick 6 or 7 mushrooms out of there that were big, you know, that were fixing to start sporulating all over the place, so I want to get them out. But that ain't considered a whole flush, you know, because you only picked a few. So if I don't consider that a flush, but if I go in the box and I re-wet it, I re-spray everything down, then I consider that a flush. So I might go in there and pick some of the big ones out that I was trying to stop, you know, that were getting ahead of the other ones. So I might pick them out. Then when I come back and re-harvest all the little ones that have grown up and I spray it and re-tape it, that's a flush to me, you know. So like I said, I probably had 8 of them. Now what you want to do is you want to go around your lid and you want to make sure everything's nice and sealed. And if it is, then I'm going to come back in a minute and I'm going to peel one of these pieces of tape off each corner. But I'm not going to take them off everywhere yet, because that will kick off fruiting. And we ain't wanting to kick off fruiting. See, normally people leave, like a lot of methods will call for you to leave the lid cracked. The reason you're leaving the lid cracked is for fresh air exchange. So obviously if you're taping your box up and all that and only getting breathing holes through the tape, then if you tape everything up, then you won't be getting no fresh air exchange. So that's why we're going to open one hole on each side of the box. That is just to let gas exchange happen during our fruiting process. That's all it is. But remember, you only peel one. Hey, and these brands of garbage bags right here, is about the best deal you're gonna find. You get 14 bags, you know, for $1 at the Dollar Tree. And they're perfect size for this size box. But if you're not using this size box, you might be using a bigger tub, which I have going, or you might be using a smaller tub, which I will have going. I don't right now. I don't like shoe boxes. I'd rather, you know, go ahead and get out there sideways and try to, I'd rather start 4 boxes and then have one that messed up that were big than have to deal with 10 little ones. You know, I hate this part right here, the setting up the grow and all that. It just is stressful. It's aggravating to me. So I'd much rather only have to do it with the big ones, you know, than I have to do it a bunch with the little ones. So anyway, all we're gonna do, same process all over again. We're gonna make sure our 2 long arms are hanging out like that. That way we don't have to deal with that. And now we're gonna come put us a little piece of holder tape in place. Bam. And bam. Now we got that in place. That ought to keep everything from falling on us. Now we're gonna open this bad boy up. We're gonna do something different this time. We're gonna rake all the way around the edge. I'm trying to scoop everything off the bottom, get it all ready to come out. And this one is gonna be the bottom layer. Okay, we got her done there, boys. Now we can lay that all around in there, spread it around a little bit. Perfect, perfect. Now we get to open up this one. Spray the top of it. Get us a new little piece of napkin. That is a big old jar, ain't it? Look how pretty that mycelium is. Now that shit is done all the way around. You can't beat that. Yeah. Get that ready. And shook that one up earlier. Okay, perfect, perfect. Let's spray the leg of my thing down here. Okay, bam. That smells wonderful. See, this is why I like these big jars so much. That right there was so easy to do. And then just look at how beautiful the mycelium is, how much comes out of there. That's one jar, just like a big bag that people use. One big old jar. I'll get so much mushrooms off this. I ought to weigh it up so y'all know exactly what a gallon jar like that makes. And the thing is that I'm fixing to get to wash and reuse that gallon jar here in just a second, you know. So there ain't no need to damage Mother Nature. Alright, so we got that one in there. Bam. Now we put the top on that thing. Alright, so now we mix up one end, just like we did before. And this whole process, y'all, is like at first it might seem like a lot and all that, but I promise you this, mushrooms are one of the easiest things you can grow. I mean, this process, once you get it down, and it's one of the most rewarding hobbies, you know. I mean, it really is. It is. It's just something about growing your own medicine and taking control of your own mental health, you know. And maybe some of y'all are growing these just to party with, and that's cool too. You know, that's cool too. I ain't like Paul Stamets. I don't think that it's uncool for people to party with mushrooms or whatever, because really that's still using it for medicine. Even if you're partying and having fun with it, that's your way of letting go, you know, getting your stress out, you know. Now, some people though, that like, I've got several friends that's been on antidepressants their whole life. You know, felt like they had to have antidepressants, and as long as they have some mushrooms, they don't even think about the antidepressants, you know. And they don't. I know people that don't microdose. I know people that do like I do. I actually just macrodose like a couple times a week or a couple times a month, you know. Like I might eat 3 or 4 grams, you know, just like if I got something to do, like today, for instance, I'm gonna have to do a lot of editing. So instead of just dealing, like, who wants to do something stressful and then like dread it? You know what I'm saying? That might not make sense because you're supposed to dread stressful stuff, but just say that you were growing mushrooms and you knew that you were going to have something stressful to do. So now, instead of being stressed about it, I'm excited. You know why? Because I get to eat a couple grams of mushrooms to do it. So, you know, it's like it gives me a reason to take the mushrooms. So it's like something, you know, it's just a way to, or an excuse to take them. I look forward to stressful stuff now. My girlfriend's like, did you always used to take mushrooms this much? And I was like, no, of course not. Because, well, number one, even if you had the money and wanted to buy them, they're not that easy to find, you know. Like, it ain't always... Like, if you wanted to just keep mushrooms and you had the money to, a lot of the times you couldn't. Because a lot of the times it ain't that time of year, you know, where somebody could go out and find them. A lot of the times the fields that are around you are ones that people work in and stuff like that, so you can't just always go pick them. So if you love mushrooms in your life, like, the answer is to learn how to grow them, you know. And I say that ain't your only responsibility. If you're depending on Mother Nature to help you in your life, to help you feel better and stuff like that, then I feel like you owe it to her to be, you know, to do this responsibly. And what I mean by that is on the plastic side, you know. Like, really, I'm trying to find a way to eliminate liners from my method, because I don't like that much plastic going back into the environment, you know. And that's why I think you really should consider these big jars or even gallon-sized jars. They're both excellent, and they eliminate the need for the big plastic bags. I mean, they completely eliminate the need for the bag. And then I say over and over again that not only that, but the plastic bags you cannot reuse, you know. And then you got to put filter patches on them. You got to do all kind of crazy stuff. Y'all see, I got unmodified lid tech going on right here, you know. I mean, it's a super simple stuff. It's super simple stuff, everybody. So we're going to drench this. And then you just put a reminder in your phone on your calendar for 10 days later. I'll put 2 tubs will be ready to fruit. You know, something like that. I'll show you what a fruited tub looks like in a second whenever I get through with this. Or I'll show you what one looks like that's ready. That I actually just put into fruiting conditions this morning. But it'll probably be 5 days, something like that. After you kick off fruiting conditions, you got about 5 days before you're gonna start seeing pins and all that. Now you might see hyphae knots, or you might see some different stuff like that, but before you start actually seeing pins, it's gonna be about 5 days. All right, team, let me grab a little alcohol, wipe the top off. The reason I do this is because I want the tape to stick real good, because to me keeping bugs out is of the highest priority. I hate them. I hate them, and I hate them because I really hate to hate nature, or any part of it. But when it comes to the house flies, y'all, I hate them. It's sad to say, but I do. I hate them. I hate them. Okay, so y'all remember the process. We're going to leave just a little bit of tape hanging up on the top. Bend it all the way around like that. We're going to make sure it's stuck and make sure it's pressed down. Now we lay that part down first. Lay that all the way to the edge, all the way to that edge. Then we bend that edge over. Alright, same thing over here. Now we lay that edge over. Now we got that perfect. Now don't stick this to the side first. Tuck it under there, and then push it to the edge, even under there. Even. Same thing here. We want to push it to the edge, even. Then we can lay it down good. But you want to stick it up high first. That way it just makes it stick easier as you layer down. Okay, so now we're going to turn it. Go get the next one. Okay, then we're gonna, guess what we're gonna do, y'all? We're gonna do the same